Perhaps travel cannot prevent bigotry, but by demonstrating that all peoples cry, laugh, eat, worry, and die, it can introduce the idea that if we try and understand each other, we may even become friends. Maya Angelou. Do you as an educator find yourself agreeing with this statement? Would you like to do more to expand your school as a culturally diverse learning community? Do you feel that there are students in your classroom that are not mastering the content due to lack of connection? If so, then you have come to the right place. Imagine that you are a social studies elementary teacher about to walk into a meeting with your principal and the other social studies teachers in your school. The purpose of the meeting is to discuss student academic progress and the standards. However, you feel the need to address something that has been concerning you. You have concerns that the curriculum expected of you and your peers to teach, due in large part because of how it aligns with standardized testing, is not inclusive enough, and you feel that the culturally diverse students in your school are not making meaningful connections with the content. You explained to your administrator that the school as a whole would benefit from embracing multiculturalism. If it did so, the chances for all students to succeed would increase due to deeper and relevant connections established between content and experience. This is especially true in the realms of social studies content because it lends itself to making connections with historical events, people, and places. As well, multicultural curriculum simultaneously helps culturally diverse students feel connected to the classroom community, while majority students will find connections with themselves and the cultures of others. In multicultural embracing classrooms, all students benefit. Your fellow teachers and principal may question this notion, but you can explain to them how research backs up your claims. In 2007, Allman, Brophy, and Knighton conducted a study on the impact of cultural diversity in the social studies curriculum in a first grade classroom. Barbara Knighton opened up her first grade classroom to all special needs first graders in the district, teaching an inclusive classroom of first graders. Throughout their study, they found positive results due to the emphasis on school community and building the social studies curriculum around the cultural universal of childhood. Instead of just treating social studies as a broadening of students' horizons, Knighton found ways to teach so that everyone was able to make a personal connection to the content. She taught experiences that everyone shares, but experiences differently, which helps students to see and appreciate their own differences. Principals may still be wary of embracing multiculturalism, however, due to the difficulty of supporting the curriculum differences. In 2007, Elizabeth Murakami writes that the issue with U.S. curriculums is that it panders to a one language, one culture approach to learning when we as a country consist of a diverse population. Remember, we as a country are considered the great American melting pot. As principals are the educational leaders of their schools, in order for multiculturalism to be successful and all students have an equal chance to connect with the content of the curriculum, it is important that they value and establish inclusive practices and set their expectations for inclusive practices at a very high level. In 1996, Banks writes that the greatest task for a leader who wants to advocate for cultural diversity practices is to transform political liabilities into scholarly assets. In other words, principals need to take charge and support positive change rather than be afraid of backlash. Because if something is good for the students, then it is important to support. Social studies teachers will be interested in how they can adopt multicultural assets into their own classroom. One great way is to have literature in the classroom that is multicultural. All Kinds of Children, written by Norma Simon, is a great children's book that focuses on geography and is appropriate for kindergarten through second grade learners. This book tells about children all over the world, showing how they live, what kind of houses they have, and what their families are like. For social studies teachers of higher elementary, such as 5th grade, a great book to read with students is Land of the Iron Dragon, written by Alida E. Young. This is a historical fiction young adult novel that has multiple themes that can tie together multiculturalism and history content. The book follows a 14-year-old Chinese immigrant boy who works on the Transcontinental Railroad from 1865 to 1869. Throughout the book, students will be exposed to historical information such as the nature of westward expansion and the diverse values and beliefs of the Chinese culture. Teachers and administrators will also expect to see multiculturalism in practice and see how it teaches the content and aligns with standards. One great project you could do with a kindergarten class in December would be Winter Holidays Around the World. This project would allow for students to use the school's media center to find factual information regarding holidays such as Christmas, Kwanzaa, and Hanukkah. The students would also get a chance to learn about children and culture in another part of the world, building their worldview and connecting with the social studies standard curriculum of families. 5th grade South Carolina Social Studies Standard 5.3-3 asks students to make connections between immigration and America, specifically how the cultures brought to America from immigrants' home countries influenced our society. This standard leads itself to multiculturalism. A teacher could choose a subgroup, say Irish Americans, and build a lesson around St. Patrick's Day. This lesson could focus on Irish culture, their beliefs, reasons why many Irish people immigrated to America, or the unfortunate discriminatory practices these people faced when arriving in America. Both of these lesson ideas align with standards, approach the content in culturally diverse and engaging ways, help to build connections with diverse learners, and expose students to other cultures and experiences that help to shape their own worldview. In 2004, Sleater writes that embracing cultural diversity in public schools is dangerous if principals and teachers are tentative in supporting ideas that do not directly align with standardized tests. But we must realize that our students are more than just a test score, and they need to have their needs met while also feeling accepted. The way in which to do this is through multiculturalism. We as educators must be willing to see the benefits and reach out to all our students. By supporting culturally inclusive curriculum and classrooms, all students may grow as informed learners.